Hello, we're Steve and Helen from the Foundation Stage Forum, and we'd like to tell you a little bit of news that we've done recently in the last couple of weeks.
You'll be aware that we run the Foundation Stage Forum, which is a long-standing early years centre of expertise and resources and a support network. And what we've just recently done is change technology for logging in. So you can now use your Tapestry username and password to log in and establish your membership on the forum. So all of you, every single full staff member registered to Tapestry and manager registered to Tapestry can log in, and from then on you can join in the conversation. You can access all of the resources, you can download resources, you can read all of the articles.
So what we'd like to happen is lots of our Tapestry users will now log into the Foundation Stage Forum and join in with all the professional discussions that people have enjoyed for 17 years?
Yeah, 17 years, yes, goodness.
So,
man and boy.
Man and boy. So recent conversations that have been really interesting have been around child-led and adult-led learning. We've got lots of opinions on that. Men in childcare, of course the EYFS consultation has elicited lots and lots of conversations. Amusing things like having a dog at a nursery. Lots of nurseries are bringing in wildlife to help soothe the children and help them settle. What other things have we talked about? Going green, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Eco-nurseries.
Definitely.
And mental health and well-being of staff and children.
I mean, the conversations really happen in floods. You know, when somebody starts something off, it takes off on a life of its own, really. So the more interesting the conversation, the longer it goes on for as well. So
there has been a dip, though, haven't there? We have to admit, over recent years, the Foundation Stage Forum had about 30,000 members a few years ago.
Yeah.
Several years ago, before Facebook, and that whole thing of online communities was really popular at the time for all sorts of things, whether you were an engineer or a photographer or an early years worker. Online forums were the things to do, weren't they? And then Facebook came and everyone wants kind of snappy answers, even though it might have been asked 20 times before.
Yes.
And we did notice a drop in lengthy professional development discussions.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's one of the things that it's interesting to note about that. Facebook is very useful for instant, virtually real-time conversations. The more traditional forum platform is very good at storing conversations which are very, very substantive for long periods of time. It's much more searchable than a Facebook platform. And I think that's one of the things that you'll notice if it's kind of slower conversation, but
more in depth.
A lot of it is more considered and in depth. And what we did try to do way back in the early days, and it was very successful, and still exists, is that we wanted a real community spirit, a sort of an ethos to the forum where people could get passionate, but they would be really courteous and respectful. So you could have very lively discussions with strong disagreements, but we always managed to keep it on the tracks, and it never became the kind of online equivalent of road rage. If you're talking to each other in the same social space physically, very, very rarely do you get rude and heated with each other. But
because everyone's learning from each other, particularly in the early years and primary education. Practitioners and teachers are usually really, really helpful to each other, and they're very generous with their time and their expertise. And certainly in this day and age, with very little professional development opportunities, settings are really strapped for cash. They can't send all their staff out for courses and so on. So having those professional conversations on an online forum over a period of weeks, you could check in once a week, twice a week. It doesn't have to be yet another thing in your working day that you have to log in and attend to. It's going to be a much slower. I think
So it's not just the conversations. There are plenty of resources there. There's a resource library you can download. For example, parents' guides to using Tapestry. There are plenty of other types of resources there as well, and you can ask for things if they're not available. So there are articles written by people with huge expertise. There's a lot of stuff on there. It's a tool that you could be, and I think should be, making use of in your in your daily life.
And it's completely free for anyone who has a manager or a full staff account in Tapestry.
Exactly.
So they can just use their same login to log into the forum. It doesn't cost them any more, and there's all this stuff there. And we've been going for 17 years, did we say?
Yeah. That was always there for Tapestry account holders, but it had a separate account. And what we've done is we've put some technology in place that means that if you know your Tapestry login, you can log into the forum and you establish yourself an account immediately, and you're just using exactly the same login details as you did for Tapestry. So it's become a lot easier. There are 150,000 of you out there, staff, teachers, nursery practitioners, and so on, using Tapestry. Yeah. So there's plenty of...
Join us now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, just join the chat.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you. Yes, thank you for listening. If you did listen.